I absolutely think that this generation now in the States and overseas and English-speaking countries that watch pro wrestling, there's a different mentality. There's an established system, sport, and genre. There's a vocabulary for that sport and genre. When we were growing up as teens, like it was a novelty. It was like this Logan Paul.
Oh yeah,
thing.
Absolutely.
Like on a much smaller scale.
Human cockfighting is what John McCain called it.
John McCain, he was so lame. I remember watching it on TV. He was so lame about that. It was absolutely something that he was using politically for something else.
Man wanted to be president.
Saying that in a time. Well, yeah, we sing it at a time where it's like it's absolutely punching down, as the kids say. But
so
anyway.
I've been thinking about this. If I had my druthers to do like the perfect Bloodsport, I would want it a little bit more like Bloodsports 4 and 5 production wise. But what I would do is I would put a crowd there, smaller crowd.
I mean, I like something like that. Or if you're familiar with the Polish company KSW,
no, I'm not actually.
Josh Barnett did a cool special. They did a special KSW. They're an MMA company. It's just general MMA, but they did a kind of bare knuckle cage fight event, and they flew Josh Barnett over, and he messed somebody up. But the production is so high. I think it's the best. It's like the upper echelon of like. I'm including pro wrestling, including WWE.
I'm gonna
as
look this
up. Oh my God, it's the real deal. I think to me, this is the pinnacle. Everybody should. It's the gold standard. Every production. I wish I could watch it more and more. It's just there's so much content out there. But if you do go to the Fight Game Media website, I did some coverage in the past. I covered KSW 54 in great detail, and it was awesome. And a guy who was on UFC this past weekend, Mateusz Gamera, he's from Poland. He was their superstar. He was their double champion. He left KSW to come to UFC, and he's on the prelim. Not in the prelim.
I love this.
Early
I'm
undercard.
watching. I got one going right now. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is the best. This is some of the best video production I've seen in combat sports. Everything is lit great, but it's lit with purpose. It's not just lit to see everything. It's lit for shadow. Like cinematography is scoping of shadows. Like I love the splashes they're using. This is gorgeous.
So at the Josh Barnett event, I think it was KSW Genesis or any of the more recent pandemic era KSW cards. They're in undisclosed locations, but they take place they're not huge venues. There's not an octagon. I think it's just a circle with a cage, and it's set up more like a concert venue, like a jazz. You get or a comedy club or something like that. It's not packed because you can't do that, but everyone who's there, they got their best clothes on for that night. It's classy. It's more like St. Louis.
Wrestling the Chase. I love that.
So,
dude, this is awesome.
Actually, a couple of years ago, to go out on a KSW branch for a second here, before the pandemic in 2017, they held the biggest ever MMA event in Europe. It was like 57,000 people or something. It's a great thriving industry in Poland, and there are going to be some great fights. And this is
awesome. I'm watching a fight right now. It's a free fight they have. This is slick production. It's not a huge arena, but it looks great. This lighting is amazing. This staging this is what it should look. This is what wrestling should look like. It reminds me a little more of what Noah did at Budokan, right?
A little bit,
but
yeah.
The Abima does a great job, but this is slicker. Like this is much slicker. Like the camera style, the cameras they're using are a little bit more cinematic. Like it looks like they're not just like 1080i where everything moves so slick and so smooth. Like this is a little bit more. Probably this looks like 30p more so than anything. It might be 60i. I can't tell though. But it looks like there's some more jaggedness to the motion as opposed to just everything's like a video game. But you're mixing this with like big jib shots. Why doesn't pro wrestling look like this? Why isn't anyone doing this with pro wrestling? This is what I want.
The guy is in charge of the guy is in charge of KSW. I respect him so much. The two fellows that run it, they started running KSW originally. There was 2005, 2006, 2000 up to 2010 was kind of, that was like the MMA boom. Remember that? Chuck Liddell and all that.
Oh yeah.
Couture. They did their own. They were running their promoters running shows at like kind of dance clubs and techno clubs, and you had to like the fight in the side because that's where it was coming up from. Like you said, John McCain was calling it a human cockfight over in the States, so it kind of had that general what is it, facade. But